Hey, Randy Joe here, and welcome back to Art Pop April, the series where throughout the month of April we are listening to some art pop albums. We're trying to do 10 per genre every month, and continuing things, we've got our 6th video here with Julia Holter's Have You in My Wilderness. This is one of her biggest releases. I think this is the album that kind of put her in the spotlight for a lot of people, certainly put her on the map. And she just recently released an album as well called Something in the Room She Moves. That's another LP I would like to check out. And of course, she has her 2018 album, which was quite the epic at an hour and a half long, called Airy. That album I have heard, at least back in the time when it came out. And I remember liking some of the tracks on here, especially the opening track being quite a beautiful cacophony of sounds. However, Have You in My Wilderness, I have never listened to, but I have gotten many people in the comments asking for this one. So shout out to all the users who suggested this one. This one is for you guys. Today we are going to cover it. We are going to listen to it. This will be a first reaction. So without further ado, at 46 minutes and 5 seconds and 10 tracks, Have You in My Wilderness, kicking things off with Feel You by Julia Holter. Kind of those orchestral elements already coming in strong. A very uplifting sort of tone so far, both lyrically and instrumentally. Very chamber pop induced. A nice chamber pop sound to it for sure. I'm not sure what that guitar is in the background there, but I do like its very reverby sound. Much higher pitched vocal than I feel like I expected. Kind of reminds me of Quiero Quiero Bonito, vocally at least, and even a little bit instrumentally. Not sure what this track's about. Maybe a love track about a love interest she's seeking out, hoping for. Very loud sound to this. Very kind of layered instrumentals. I like that kind of like snapping or clapping there in the background too. Very subtle. Alright, pretty solid opener. Very beautiful, very pretty. Nice large sound, of course, to it, which I feel like I kind of went into this expecting from Holter, knowing how loud and larger than life her instrumentals could be. Next, we've got Silhouette. Continuing things off here. Much more airy, spacey tone to this one. A very dreamlike texture to the LP. But I think that's just part of the chamber pop tone. Ooh. Oh, I like the strip back, kind of playful plucking here. And the percussion too, very gentle. Nice laid back kind of tone to it. Very whimsical fashion to this LP. And I love the strings on this LP. Really kind of like just gentle and warm. I like this one a lot. It's just such a whimsical track. Ooh. Lots of detours within it too. Oh my goodness. I love the way it's all clashing here. All swirling together. We are building up here. I could hear muttering a silhouette in the background. Oh, I wanted that to keep going. What a great ascension. My only gripe would be how we should ascend it even further. But what a great way to close out that one. How long? We're gonna continue on to this track here. Is the name of that one. But loved Silhouette. Super whimsical, super playful, and a great ascension at the end to close it out. Does she have an accent? She like kind of comes off like a French accent. I guess she is not French, but she certainly has the kind of French inflection in this one, I find. Even the instrumental kind of feels European in a way. But perhaps that's the Baroque elements. I like this much slower pacing of this one. Nice little switch over. Much more meditative this time around. Really gentle vocalist she is. A good sense of restraint. Ooh. Gets a cello perhaps in the background. Sounds like one. I like this descent. I like that one too. A nice slowly plodding track. Good pacing. Good sense of restraint. It didn't feel like 4 minutes. I think the pacing overall, so it really pulls it together. Lucette, Stranded on the Island. The name of this one. Might be a weird comparison, but I'm getting kind of Studio Ghibli vibes from this LP. Maybe it's just the gentle optimism in its sound. There's certainly a sense of melancholy too. This one's just got a nice, steady, relaxing percussion. It feels very dreamy, very dreamlike. I love the kind of narrative being weaved here, the mystery to it. Oh, those harps, where'd they go? Such an angelic town to infuse into this already dreamy instrumental. Similar to the last reaction we did, Kate Bush's Hounds of Love. This LP here, Have You in My Wilderness. A beautiful sense of arrangements. Oh, it's gonna like this a second time. That's how good it is. Didn't realize I already gave it a like. Really strong track. Like a slowly developing, powerful, slow track. A big risk to have a track this long be so slow in its pacing, but beautiful. I love that backup of the birds can sing a song. It's just so pretty. Oh my goodness, it's like similar to that last track. That building sound sneaks up on you. We're just reaching a peak here. Can't tell if this track's about her or maybe just a sweet story, a sweet narrative being weaved here. A lot of subtleties, a lot of hinting, but not outright with the lyrics, which I like. It adds to that sort of mystique that surrounds this track here. Beautifully enveloping track, and at almost 7 minutes, it takes its time, but it sticks to the landing. It does not feel like any of it's wasted. Next, we're going to C Calls Me Home, which is the most popular track here. At 3 minutes, 7.2 million streams. Might be her biggest track. That instrument's back here, the some sort of piano, not too sure. Very rustic sound to it. Punchiness to this one. Love those very angelic oohs and ahs in the background. That's a nice whistling passage. Oh my goodness. Saxophone. Every time I think I'm familiar with an instrument in a mix, she tosses in another one. Oh, now they're swirling. I like that one a lot. It's sweet. It's gentle on the ears. Those saxophones add a nice flair to that back half. I could definitely see why this is the most streamed track on the LP, seeing as it does feel more accessible, especially more accessible than Lucette Standing on the Island, which is a much more slow track. Typically doesn't land on the ears as easily to some. But C Calls Me Home, it's just pretty. Just a pretty well-produced track, which I haven't spoken on much, is the production of this LP. Just very flourishing, well-polished. Doesn't feel overproduced in any way. Nice moments of space between some of the arrangements. Let's go on to Nightsong. Strong LP so far, 5 tracks in. I gotta say, Art Pop April has been, a refreshing month of just beautiful music. Just like easy on the ears, yet still complex. Very nature-esque sort of sound to it too. Wonder what this is alluding to. Maybe showing maybe a person's kind of real image that they don't show to everyone. Beautiful lyrics, even if I'm not too sure what she's alluding to. Those strings feel like a warm embrace. Maybe she's hurt her loved one here. Very vulnerable in her vocals and lyrics, of course. And I love the strings on this LP. Really just digging the entire tone and vibe of this album. It's just a light, easy on the ears listen, yet still very complex in its arrangements. Every Time Boots is this one. Oh. Yeah, the way she sings certainly has a certain inflection in her vocals that would make me think she has an accent of some sort. Just not sure from where. Could be just her chosen way to sing. Very upbeat. This one is. Very playful sound. Oh, I like this beeping in the right regimen here. I feel like the sort of atmosphere that she has in this LP, she's really kind of going into every direction with it. Whether it be a very melancholic side, more meaningful side, a more playful avenue like this one here. I like that one. Very playful, very sweet, very cute. Betsy on the Roof is this one. I'm sure about this one. It's not quite resonating right off the bat with me. Yeah, she's a beautiful vocalist though. Good sense of restraint she brings back down there. I like that self-harmonizing vocal she's got there. Very breathy vocals there in the background. Spirits around us or something. The lyrics not quite lining up here. But whatever, we'll ignore that. Oh, shit. That like explosion there that really let go there. A lot going on, but I don't feel like it swells together as much as some of the other tracks here in their peak and their elevation. Oh, I love when you can hear the creaking of the piano. A decent track. I don't think I liked it as much as some of the other ones here. I don't think it pulls off the ascension and that loud sort of, you know, chamber pop peak that some of the other tracks here managed to capture in their back half. But that's okay. Maybe that one will be a bit of a grower. But on to track 9, we've got Vasquez? Not too sure how to pronounce that one. Well, that percussion is really just swinging right into things. No wasting time. Oh, kind of giving some Radiohead impression here. Oh, I like this one. This one's very unconventional. Very jazzy, too. I don't know. I love me some jazz. Julia Holter teasing her sexuality here. Oh. Definitely one of the more experimental tracks on the LP, too. It's very unique in its production. I really love how this percussion is kept up. Hypnotic. Very hypnotic. We're stripping away that hypnotic percussion in exchange for some strings, perhaps, and a more airy instrumental. This is beautiful. Oh. I feel like a track like this kind of teases what would come on Aviary. Certainly a much more experimental nature to it. And just swings right back into it. What a nice flow. This is a gorgeous track. One of the best ones on the LP. Shocking to me that it doesn't have higher streams. It's the lowest streams of the entire LP. And I love it. I like the ambient sort of approach to some of it too. A great track. Just monumental feeling. Kind of nice kind of closer finish sound to it. But it's not the closer. Instead, it's the title track, Have You in My Wilderness. So let's flow right into it. And then as we wrap up the album, I'll speak on it as a whole. Narratively, I can't quite pick up what a lot of these lyrics are alluding to, but very poetic and just beautiful in nature. Not much to say about this one. It's sweet, it's gentle. Kind of just feels like a simple closer. Maybe this lover is turning down her warm embrace. I believe speaking on a lesbian nature. Maybe she's confessed her love for another woman and she's being shut down. I love that line. Lady of gold, you would fit beautiful in my wilderness. In your waters I've dropped anchor. Gorgeous track. Or lyrics, I meant. Alright, that does it for Have You in My Wilderness, both the track and the LP. And I gotta say, beautiful track, beautiful album, just a great sense of sound and atmosphere throughout it. It's easy on the ears, it's very light, but doesn't shy away from having some very complex arrangements, especially in the back half of a lot of these tracks, really flourishing into these Ascension-like sort of themes. It kind of feels like everything kind of swells together and brings you to a higher plane of existence. And for the most part, I think it works on every track. Betsy on the Roof was, I think, my least favorite. And I don't think it pulled off that Ascension tone that some of the other tracks really did pull off much stronger. Lucette Stranded on the Island is one of my favorites here. I thought that was beautiful. Really feels like the, I guess, standout moment. Silhouette was fantastic. Every Time Boots was a nice upbeat twist in the sound, but still, again, feels very much like it belongs in the very consistent conceptual album that this album is. And Vesquez, second to last track, was very unique, very experimental, especially in comparison to some of the others here. So I like that one as well. I thought it was really hypnotic. Kind of felt like a Radiohead sort of interpretation on her part. But this is a beautiful album through and through. I feel like it won't hit me just how much I love this album until later. Like right now, I'm thinking this is a great LP, but I think with more listens, it'll only get stronger because it kind of reminds me of the recent album I listened to on here. Can't find it, but Titanic Rising. I did a reaction to that one as well on my channel just last week, and I have come back to that album many, many, many times since first hearing it, and I love it more so than the first time. And I think this one's going to have a similar effect, where it'll only grow on me, because it is just a very beautiful, cinematic sort of tone to it. That's so easy on the ears as well. Like, it doesn't feel grating in any way as it reaches its ascensions. That pretty much does it for this album. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. Go ahead and recommend some other art pop albums down below. I would love to check them out. I believe this is the 6th video in the series, so I only have a few more to cover before the month comes to a close, and we'll move on to May's genre. But for now, suggest some albums. I can only do so many, and there's quite a few I would like to do. So again, if I do not get to your, suggestion, then I'll write it down, and maybe one day I will when I have the time. But as always, my name is Randy Joe, and I'm signing off.